Yesterday, we talked about what you could be avoiding. What could you be avoiding? It's kind of like this baggage that holds you back. Today, I want to go into an opposite direction. I want to go into the future because what we often don't really fully realize because the past seems really real in our mind because we have lived it. But the future seems kind of gray, seems kind of made up because we haven't lived it. And if your life hasn't transpired in a way where your future has become a reality, it can be often hard to realize that you have the power to create your future. And I want to remind you of a quote that Zig Ziglar said, "Your past is important, but not nearly as important as how you see your future." Within my coaching, I always spend a significant time on this little moment here. As a Choose to Win coach from Ziglar and having my own coaching course, knowing this quote is incorporated into everything that I do. Because what I didn't know in my life is that where you are is really important. For me, when I first started growing and learning about all these different ideas and podcasts and books, I would get really excited about the future, really excited. I'd be like, man, that's exactly what I want. But I didn't fully know where I was. Now, I'd be thinking that, like, what is he talking about? Because I know exactly where I am. I want you to imagine one of those waysides that you might visit on the interstate to do a bathroom break. There's always a big giant map, and there's always a pin that says, "You are here," which is kind of your geographical location within the state, and that's where you are. Now, I want to frame that with this idea of knowing where you are, because where you are is essentially like what is true about your life right now. What patterns are you currently running on that we need to interrupt? What truths and beliefs do you have about your life that we need to redefine? So knowing where you are is important. And then learning how you got here through the patterns and how your life has unfolded up to this point is also important. And as we go into the future, we start to chart our second point. So on that map at the wayside, you have the pin that says "You are here," and you might know a destination in that state you're heading towards. That is the other component, knowing where you're going and what does your future look like. What I find interesting in the context of talking to so many dads is a lot of dads don't spend any time thinking about their future. Consumerism wires us for patterns. It wires us to believe we have to do things a certain way. And a lot of times, as much and as speed at which life still moves, we often don't really slow down to even make sure we're headed in the right direction. Because oftentimes, a dad that I talk to that maybe is on the edge of separating with his wife or on the edge of divorce, this person wakes up and realizes, wow, the writing was on the wall 10 years ago. Well, why didn't you notice the writing on the wall? Well, I was going too fast. I wasn't slowing down. So when we think about how you see your future is incredibly important because almost like a magic trick, the moment I start asking a dad a question, why does the future matter? Where are you going? What do you want to be remembered for? What kind of experiences do you want to have with your kids? What do you want your legacy to be? Almost instantly, they come up with answers. But then I also ask, when's the last time you thought about that? Some of them say never. Some of them say a long time ago. Some of them say, I had that idea when I started, but life didn't let me, or I fell down and didn't get back up, or I did get back up, but always was limping with life as life kept on going. So what I want you to know today, what I want you to think about on today's hump day is how do you see your future at the hump of the week? You've got the best view of the week here. What does your future look like? If you were to extrapolate the next 5 years, knowing the point of destination where you're headed right now, how would that look? What would your family look like? What would your career look like? What would your finances look like? What would your house look like? And then know, is that really what I want? Because it's a choice. Your future is a choice that you get to create and cultivate with everything that you do every day. Everything that's been my life over the last 2 years has been a choice, a hard choice, but I know it's with the clear vision of where I'm going. So remember, your past is important, but not nearly as important as knowing how you see your future. And I'm back again with you guys tomorrow.